Good morning, student. Yes, in the previous video, we discussed about the importance of forest, and I even told you that a country should have at least 33% of its land under forest. Forest here also means grassland. Although India does not have any fixed place for grassland, but it includes grassland also. So, because we do not have 33% of our land under forest, it is only 21%. So, we are lacking in natural cover of trees. Now, for that we need to conserve the forest. Whatever we have at present should be conserved. Now, the word conservation, forest conservation, means to protect the forest from illegal cutting or indiscriminate cutting of trees. Whatever is required for purpose, only that much should be utilized. Like the whole of Ganga plain has now been converted into agricultural land, where we used to find certain number of trees also. So that is the way, what are the different methods in which we can protect the forest, or we can conserve the forest. Now, forest conservation, first method is afforestation. Afforestation means planting new trees in a new area where there was no tree, in order to control the desertification. Like surrounding the Thar desert, if we plant new trees, it will be that it will be termed as afforestation, a quick growing species of trees along the railway track or along the roads. When we are planting that, we call it as afforestation. So if all the state take up this project of afforestation, we will be able to meet the requirement of 33% of land under forest. Second thing is ban on shifting cultivation. You have done in junior classes that northeastern state of India follow the primitive method of agriculture. That is, it is also called slash and burn agriculture. They do agriculture, they cut the trees, they burn the stumps of the trees, they prepare the land for agriculture, and once the tree starts growing, they shift to another land. So that way it is, they are just cutting down the trees which is needed very essentially. So if the government has to take an action that it should be legally banned to do shifting agriculture in whichever state it is. It was first practiced in northeastern state, some part of Jharkhand also we used to have, but now it is controlled. So second is ban on shifting cultivation. Now number 3, one Mahotsav. The whole country should practice one Mahotsav, that is planting trees during monsoon season. When there is enough rain, if we plant the sapling, it will not need any extra watering, and in that case it will be will help in growth of trees. So that is called one Mahotsav, which is generally followed in July and August. So the whole state, all the states should follow this one Mahotsav. Now number 4, re-afforestation. It is little different from afforestation. Re-afforestation means those areas which had forest, when people have cut down the trees, there the government has planned that they should have 2 saplings for 1 felled tree. That means if I am cutting down 10 trees, I have to replace it by 20 trees, 20 saplings, so that it can grow to have 20 trees. So in that case, this is called as a re-afforestation. That means there was originally a forest over there which was illegally cut down, and again the government is trying to establish the forest by planting 2 saplings for every 1 felled tree. That is the third. So generally you may be asked a question to differentiate between re-afforestation and afforestation. Now number 5, to have fire line in the forest. Now fire line means a path cleared in the forest. Generally it is 5-meter wide path cleared in the forest, so that if there is a forest fire, it will not spread to the whole area, and that path can be used for the movement of firefighting machines. So if the firefighting machines can move in that fire line, and it will be beneficial for controlling the fire. There are certain symbols for fire line in the topo sheet. This symbol is used for showing fire line which is there in the forest. So fire line is a path cleared in the forest to control the spread of forest fire, because that is also one major cause for decrease in the forest, because this generally happens in the summer season, that because of high temperature and rustling of the leaves with the wind, the friction that is created leads to fire, and then it spreads out like great speed and destroys the forest. So we have to control that. So that is to have a fire line in the forest. Number 6, silviculture. In the previous class also we had done silviculture, that is timber farming. Instead of cutting all valuable trees for timber, if we have a special species of quick growing trees which can supply timber to the industries, then that is called as silviculture. Generally, I told you those, so for example, it is a eucalyptus which grows very fast, they use it as silviculture. Now, number 7, social forestry. Now, those areas which are villages or those places which are in the interior, they do not get good supply of coal for burning. They do not get gas cylinder for cooking purpose. So, for them there should be a supply of those type of trees which are not so valuable. They can cut down the twigs of those trees and use it for burning. So, social forestry that gives supply to the firewood for the villagers. So that is within the village, the panchayat and all, they can decide that this tree can be used as a firewood. That is called as social forestry. Now number 8, agroforestry. Forestry along with agriculture. Many of the plants, like many of the agriculture, not plants, many of the agriculture, for example, coffee cultivation, that needs tall trees in between the field, so that strong wind does not blow away the beans of the coffee. So if we are planting those type of trees which will give benefit to for production of which give benefit for the production of other crop, and it is a supplement for the farmer as an extra income, then that is called as an agroforestry. So growing trees like jackfruit or banana or yam or any other thing that is also called that is covering the soil, not it is helping in a way of soil conservation, and that is called as agroforestry. So these are the 8 methods in which we can conserve forest to bring it up to 33% of our land under forest, which is essential, which is world standard, that all countries should have at least 33% of its land under forest. Thank you, students.